Wrong side. It always feels so weird driving right-hand drive for the first time in a while. Just like you're not as spatially aware. If you guessed what we were doing today by the title of this video, you're correct. Oh, obviously we're working on the RX7, lots more work to do, but really not too much until this thing's running and driving. We're gonna try to get it there today. I wanna at least get it moving under its own power because I do need to work on the Miata before this weekend. Got a bunch to do before I drift it this weekend, and I don't wanna pull this thing out, play tug of war with the truck again. I'd like to be able to drive it out. So that is the goal. This video. Okay, so let me show you the first thing we need to address today. Slight oversight on my part. Alright, so see those two fittings right there? Well, those are supposed to go to an oil cooler. They're built into this pan, so you don't have to run a sandwich plate between the oil filter and the oil filter housing to get these fittings. However, as you can see, there is a slight clearance problem. I don't think we're gonna get a fitting on there to go to our oil cooler, and even if we did, it would be touching the header, which is probably not good. So luckily this pan came with caps when I got it, so I'm just gonna take those out and cap them off. To run an oil cooler, we'll have to put a sandwich plate here, maybe do a remote mounted filter or something, but we got to get those out, and I'm really hoping I can get them out without pulling the header out. I'm pretty sure this blue one is the long one and this black one's the short one. We might be able to. Let's try. Okay, got the longer one out. That's well, the one I figured would be more challenging. So let's see if we can get the shorter one out. It's tighter, it's in a tighter spot, so I'm not 100% sure. I think it'll come out though, I have faith. Oh, got it. Sweet. Okay, cool, crisis averted. Getting those plugs in might be a little tricky, but we'll make it work. If we can get these out, we can get the plugs in, that's for sure. This is what the plug looks like. The only tricky thing is just gonna be tightening it down because I don't think I'm gonna be able to get an Allen socket in there. Oh, I'm really happy about that though. I was thinking about this last night, one of those things that kept me up at night, like, oh man, I really hope I don't have to take the exhaust off so I can pull the header out, just so I can take those two fittings out, because that would be kind of lame. All right, cool. Gotta tighten them down. Let's see if we can do it with this. All right, Nipex Cobras, Nipex, whatever. I know you don't pronounce the K. So I haven't talked about these in a while. A lot of my older videos, when I first got them, I was ranting and raving about them. Still one of the best tools I've ever purchased. The teeth are so sharp, and the teeth design, they can grab onto anything. They just grabbed onto those round plugs and tightened them down, no problem. Highly suggest them. They are pricey at 30 bucks, but trust me, they are absolutely worth it. I will put the link below to the Amazons because these are amazing. Everyone should have a set. Okay, well, with that crisis averted, we can actually move on to the fun stuff. Ground bolts, very important with an LS. One of the more important ones is grounding the chassis to the engine. So that's what we're doing right now with this ground. Well, there's no good holes on that side. I usually use the AC bracket mounting holes. They're made for good ground mounting positions. All right, one ground done. It's funny with projects like this, if you look at the big picture, right, there's not much to do. Like, we really don't have much left on this thing. But what always gets you, what always takes a lot of time is all the little things, all the little projects. Like, for example, gotta hook this starter trigger wire up. However, the nut is gone off the solenoid, so I need to try to find a nut of another starter or something to bolt this on, and I need to figure out a better way to route it because it's kind of sitting on the header, and it's those little things that end up just taking so long and you forget about them, you know? You look at the big picture and you're like, there's nothing left. Cake. Easy. One day. Then you're like, wait a second. Okay, a couple oddball things we gotta figure out. One, this is the throttle cable, and this is as far as it goes. So I either need to drill a new hole setup in this plate, or do something to make it work wrapping around this. But I'd rather drill a hole and make a slot, so I'll probably do that. Other thing, the clutch master cylinder. So I was told this master cylinder wouldn't work and I needed to get a different one by the person who had this car before me. I'm not convinced that that's the case, but I have a 3AN line and that's a 4AN fitting. So I'm really hoping I have a fitting that'll work for that. We'll dig through the fitting drawer and try to figure that out. But first, let's get this throttle working. Tiny bit bigger. That should do it. I think that worked. Need to clean this up a little bit, but it's in there. Yeah, it can't pop out either way, so cool. That was easier than I thought. Fingers crossed, the clutch things is easy. Ooh, the ones I have are the opposite flare of this. I don't know. We'll go dig through the pile. Not looking good. Think I might have some more fittings stashed elsewhere. Okay, upon further investigationis, I figured out, so this is a Wilwood. I could feel it on the bottom side. I was gonna take it off and look, but it is a Wilwood. It is a 1-inch bore though. And from what I'm seeing, it seems like 3/4 inch is the common bore size. People run 7/8 at max. Basically, the bigger the bore size, the less the pedal will have to travel, but the stiffer it'll be. But you can run into issues when you get into big bore sizes where it's more like an on-off switch. You don't have that slip linearity to it. So anyway, I ordered the same exact master cylinder and a 3/4 inch bore size, and it looks like it comes with the correct adapter to 3AN fitting. So hopefully that works. We'll find out, but that's ordered, so I'm not gonna be able to do that today, but we're gonna do everything else. Wiring harness, engine harness, let's do that. All right, let's take a quick look through here, make sure we didn't destroy anything when we took this out. I was careful because I figured I'd use it in something else or give it to Ben or sell it or something. Get an idea of where everything needs to go. I wish these were labeled. That would be helpful. Okay, so this is our engine side, ECU side, fuse box, and then we got key on power, constant power, ground, and then fuel pump, I would guess. That would be my guess. We'll figure it out. All right, we're gonna need to reorganize some of this junk. Excuse me, sorry, I'm sorry. Just a little too close. Thanks. All right, radiator, we'll probably put this in today-ish, so keep that out. All right, let's get this thing off the lift. It'll be way easier to move this stuff around and work in the interior. I also went ahead and switched all the lug nuts out. I had these off the Miata. I'm missing one though. I'm so sad. We'll figure that out later. At least it's got some non-horrible lug nuts on there for now. So we need to keep moving. I want to get all this stuff out, sort through it. I'm tired of dealing with this mess in here. We got to start working in here. Let's clean this up. Oh, hold on. That was a terrible snap. Let's try that again. Come on. There we go. Got all the good parts kind of sorted into this tote. And then most of the other stuff gone. I usually just throw stuff away, but then every time I throw something away that I think I'm not gonna need, I end up needing it a couple months later. So we'll keep this stuff in here until the car is like driving, and then we'll deal with it. So anyway, now we can get to work. Let's get this thing out of the freaking way. It like doesn't close, so there's no latch. This is usually something you'd want some help with because you have one person pull from the outside and one person feed from this side. But Ben is not home, so we're gonna be doing it ourselves. Okay. I can just get a couple through. I'll be able to pull most of it. we've got the harness pulled through. It should be easy enough to route it. I've done this several times. So we'll just start running it and routing it, hooking everything up. It's kind of weird, some of this stuff. Let's get this thing routed. Captain's log, problem 76.3. These injector clips were originally oh geez. Oh, let me get these off, so I'm not trying to talk and squeeze my fingers. Multitasking is hard. Okay, so these injector clips were very poorly butt connected onto this harness. We need to fix this. We need to solder them, and I can't route the harness underneath the coil packs and stuff until I solder them. There's no point in hooking it all up just to take it back apart. So as much as I want to make that progress right this second, we're going to fix this and then we're going to make the progress. Break out the soldering iron. All right, well, I'm gonna be here for a while, so if you guys wanna go grab lunch or do whatever you gotta do, I wouldn't blame you one bit. So I'll meet you back here when we're done with this, and we're actually hooking the wiring harness back up. All right, well, got them all soldered and heat shrunk and all that. We are good to go. I did almost quit. The second one in, I was like, this is gonna take forever. And I was gonna just use the harness out of my Miata. I'd been saving that harness to use on like whatever the next LS swap project I was gonna do. So I didn't really want to use it on this car since I have this harness for this car. And anyway, I decided not to. I didn't quit. I wanted to, but I didn't quit. And I wanna act like that's because me being noble, getting the work done, but that's not true. It's just because the O2 sensors this car has are different than the plugs for my other harness from the Miata. I'd have to get adapters or get different O2 sensors, so that's kind of the thing that pushed me over the edge to just fix this one. So anyway, let's get this thing routed. I need to undo these coil packs so I can hide the wiring down there. Well then, so I didn't use the other harness because the plugs are different, which they are. Square, male to male. Yeah, that's not gonna work either way. So yeah, okay. Well, at least we can get the trans plugged in. WTF, mate. I'm already getting itchy from rubbing my hands all over that exhaust. That thing is the worst. There's too many of the same plug down here. 2-pin, other 2-pin. All right, so I got all the sensors hooked up. It was just a little tricky because they're all hard to get to, so it's hard to see which plug went where, but once I got one in, the rest fall in line because you can just see by how long the harness is where they should go. So anyway, we got those done. I'll have to figure out what to do with this. I think I can just buy the correct O2 sensors because these are new, and I guess they're just the wrong ones. So we'll deal with that later. For now, let's go back up top, finish routing the harness and other stuff. I don't know what the other stuff is, but we'll find out. Or I'm just hiding it from you. I'm just not telling you yet. There's other stuff. Believe me. Gotta go chop these bolts up first. These are my engine pulling bolts. I'm very sad to get rid of them. I'll have to go get some more. But we need ground bolts. The crank sensor is one of the few sensors on this engine that is an absolute pain to get to. Yeah, I ended up pulling the starter out just to make this possible because there was no room between the header and the starter. At least LS starters are very easy to install. All right, think we got everything connected besides the intake and intake air temp. So let's move to the inside of the car. It's like completely different to get in here than my car. Like the method I use to plop myself into my car is totally different because of this X bar. Okay, so what I kind of want to do is make a little bracket and mount it up here. I don't know how practical that's going to be. All right, you know what? I want to take my time on this. We're still going to do it, but I don't want to rush through it. So let's mount the ECU, get the arc itself in, and then try to wire that up enough to start the car. Let's do that. That sounds fun. My goal for this video is to start the car and it move under its own power, so kind of getting sidetracked. I apologize. Okay, back to work. Okay, I had a moment of smartness and realized I should just pull the dash out. That'll make this a lot easier. This dash is in excellent shape. Oh, this tack's actually hooked up. All right, well, that'll work as far as getting it out of my way goes. Now let's figure out where we want to mount the ECU. This mess of wiring and cut up dash bar and floppy dash is driving me nuts. Like, I just want to fix it all, but I'm like, one thing at a time, Taylor. One thing at a time. Deal with the rest later. Okay, I think I'm gonna mount it there. I've got these aluminum brackets I made for mounting this ECU in my Miata. So I'm gonna try to use those, drill and put some rib nuts in and bolt her down. I apologize, you can't really see what's going on, but there's not a lot of room in here. Sweet, it's in there solid, not going anywhere. So now we need to figure out where we're gonna mount our fuse box and wire that up. Okay, I mounted the fuse box up there. Okay, so that's done. That's kind of mostly out of the way. So I gotta figure out what these are, and the colors aren't very conducive to knowing what they're meant for. Alrighty, well, I've had a bit of a realization. It pains me to get the fuel going because I don't have the stuff to make the fuel system the way I want it right now. I'm waiting on those fittings. They should be here in a couple days. Because of that, though, I was going to use my fuel pump in a jar that I made for the Xpera Miata. We did a bunch of experiments with it. We ran a Miata on moonshine, Everclear, acetone, denatured alcohol, all sorts of stuff. Super fun. If you haven't seen those videos, they're pretty hilarious. You should check them out. So I was going to use that, but then it kind of dawned on me, there's been a lot of stuff ran through there, including acetone and alcohol and moonshine and all this stuff. Do I really want to send that through my new injectors? Probably not the best call. Thing number two, there's not really any good way to just halfway do this wiring with the arc or without it to get it to run right now, because there's quite a few things I need to do to get wired up. I'll really need the arc for that. There's nowhere to put the arc until I make the new mount for it, so can't really do that. Plus I need to put a different tune on the ECU and tinker with that. So as much as it pains me, well, I don't think we're gonna be starting it tonight. Which, I mean, if you saw when we got this car, we did start it then and the engine ran and whatnot. Just kind of idled high and had some weird issues, but disappointed that we didn't get this thing running today. My goal was driving and we didn't even get it running, but we have to get the Miata in here. There's a lot of prep work and fun stuff I want to do to it before the event this weekend, and then we got the event this weekend, and then after that we should have our clutch master cylinder, we should have our fuel line fittings, we should have no reason not to be able to drive this thing out of the shop. It may not be roadworthy, but we should be able to move it under its own power. That is the goal for next video. But for this video, we're kind of failing and we didn't get it done. So forgive me, but next time I'll make it up to you, I promise. And I'll see you in the Miata video because that'll be a lot of fun. We got some cool mods to do to it. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.